Prep YouTube channel, and welcome to another episode of Daily News Analysis. I am Ashish Bhargav, so I welcome each and everyone who is watching this YouTube session, and I request if you are new in this channel, please subscribe, comment, and share to your friends as well. So, guys, first disclaimer is this: कि today my health is not too good, and second disclaimer is that there is no edition of the Hindu. अरीबा था सर क्लासेस अरीबा स्टार्ट हो चुकी है अब, so we are extremely sorry for this, for the delay. And as we know that there was a festival yesterday, so the disclaimer is this one. So there will be no issue of the Hindu on October 5th, as Ayodhya Puja is holiday. Reader can access online thehindu.com. So there was no e-paper was published. So what we need to do, basically, we exactly need to do, there are some website news is there. तो बट आज के जो क्वेश्चंस हैं दैट इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन एज पर एज योर एग्जाम इज़ कंसर्न. सो बेसिकली वेबसाइट जो दो व्हाट वी हैड डन, बेसिकली द हिंदू की न्यूज़ थी नहीं, तो हमने क्या किया, इंडियन एक्सप्रेस की न्यूज़, बाकी न्यूज़ को हमने इसमें चीज़ें कर रखी है. सो दिस सेशन इज़ इसमें जो क्वेश्चन है MCQ दैट इज़ वेरी वेरी रेलिवेंट फॉर योर एग्जाम. माई हेल्थ इज़ नॉट टू गुड बिकॉज आई टुक फास्ट फॉर 9 to 10 days, so that's why उसके बाद थोड़ी सी बॉडी को रिकवर करने में थोड़ी बहुत टाइम लगती है. एनीवे चलिए. सो आइलैंड इन द स्ट्रीम. सो हियर चाइना इज एक्सपीरियंसिंग द मोस्ट एक्सट्रीम heat wave in 6 decades. Low rainfall and high temperature. As we know that the geographical phenomena, the one is that if you talk about the northern India and why northern India face rainfall in the winter season as well, there is a one term that we need to understand: Western disturbance. ये क्या होती है Western disturbance? That is not need to go into too much depth, but only need to keep in mind what exactly is Western disturbance is. So world third largest river. So here is we can see, here is the world third largest river, the Yangtze, which provides drinking water to over 400 million people and also China most important commercial waterway. And ये जो आपका largest river है Yangtze is a China's largest river. जैसे इंडिया का हमारा गैंजेस रिवर, तो सिमिलरली वी कैन से. हम टू मच डिटेल में नहीं जाएंगे बिकॉज समटाइम्स दे विल आस्क यू, बिकॉज चाइना इज आवर नेबरिंग कंट्री, तो दे विल आस्क यू कि इसमें क्या था. वाइल वी गो टू द फर्दर मूविंग, सो देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे बुद्धास की आइडोल मिली है, एंड ये हमारा चाइना के पास ये यांगचे रिवर है. सो यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड द यांगचे रिवर के बारे में आप देखें तो, सो यांगचे रिवर ऑफ चाइना इज़ द लॉन्गेस्ट रिवर इन एशिया. It is the third longest river in the world and also longest river in the world to flow entirely within one country. So only 3 points need to keep in mind. The Yangtze River of China is the longest river in Asia. It is the third longest river in the world and also the longest river in the world to flow entirely within the country. The river originates from Jari Hills of Tangula Mountains and drains its water to the East China Sea. So East China Sea में ये हमारा क्या होता है, ड्रेन होती है. So the quote is here, and as we know that we have initiated questions of the day. Here is a important article: get a stake 96% species as zoo up for adaptation. Adoption क्या होता है हमारा? Adoption of an animal for a certain fee can certainly help raise additional finance by the zoo for the zoo and get common people involved in animal conservation. One hopes through that such method of fundraising is not due to slashing of zoo budget. The zoo is inexpensive and healthy place to spend day out of lakhs of families, especially those from disadvantaged sections. So as we know that from African elephant to around 6 lakhs year to Asian collared dove from annual fee, that is the news that is not more relevant. So this article basically talking about the how the species as zoo is for the adoption. So we only need to keep in mind because in you know what, National Zoological Park. So NZP, National Zoological Park, is the only zoo in the country that is directly operated by the Union Ministry of Environment. So sometimes always keep in mind that National Zoological Park is directly operated by which ministry? That is Union Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. One more thing you need to keep in mind, that revenue goes to the center and revolves back to the zoo for developmental activities. It is proposed that the revenue generated through this scheme should revolve back to the zoo on the quarterly basis for the welfare of animal and personnel. So this is basically all about the article. It's no need to go into too much depth in detail. Here is winter could and an Indian tourism long spells. As we know that his data is given, so no data is relevant as far as your exam is concerned. They will not give you. But why did I mention here? Because of the reason you will get a fair idea that how the tourism industry is working on. Because as we know that the tourism industry that adds up billions of dollars in the Indian economy every year, and it has mentioned the Times of India, as you can see, the tourism industry that adds billions of dollars in the Indian economy every year was hit hard by lockdowns and travel curves during the pandemic. So this is what about the data is given here. So India tourism is ranked 10th in the position in terms of contribution of world GDP. So this is data is important. Only one data is important, but it has earlier in the newspaper it has given the every state data which will not ask in your exam. During 2019, contribution of travel and tourism by GDP was 6.8% of the total economy of Rs 13,600 crore. India as of now to 2021 has 14 sites listed in the World Heritage List, 6 most highest, 32 cultural, 7 natural, 1 mixed site in the world. Dholavira, as we know, the 48th, the rank position is 48th position by the UNESCO World Heritage List. Dholavira and Ramappa Temple, and which is located in Telangana. The financial year 20, the tourism sector in India accounted 39 million jobs, which is 8.0% of the total employment in the country. By 2029, it is expected to account 35 millions. Next is obesity. Cost India 2.8 lakhs crore a year, over 1% of GDP study. So as we know that the overweight is defined is the body mass index, which is BMI. As we know that overweight, which means obesity, also is the main reason for this. So overweight is defined as the body mass index of 25 kilogram to in adults, and obesity as BMI is 30 kg meter square and above. So these data need to keep in mind. For children, overweight is defined as weight that is 1 to 2 standard deviation above the medium, and obesity as more than 2 standard deviation of the median. 17.4% overweight and obesity prevalence in India in 2019. And as we know that India cost, it represents the economic value of time, productive capacity or quality of time, quality of life due to living, overweight and obesity. So what exactly the concern is, because overweight conditions and obesity, the two common lifestyle problems that plague nearly 17% of India's populations, are annually costing the country $35 billion, almost we can say 2.8 lakh crore, that's 1% of current GDP. So as we know that the World Obesity Federation and RTI International's estimates analyze the direct and indirect reasons. So basically what exactly the impact is, obesity is the main reason. There is a, we can say, not having a healthy diet, too much having the fast food and junk food taking, so avoid to use this. And as we know that why it is important, because it is we can say an extra, okay, so BMI below 18.5 we can know to overweight, 18.5 to 24.9 that is known to be normal weight, 25 to 19. बट हाउ वी नीड टू चेक, हम कैसे चेक कर सकते हैं हमारा वेट कितना है? मैं आपको बता दूंगा अभी कौन सी वेबसाइट पे, आपको जाके खुद से भी देख सकते हो आप। 25 टू 29 जो होता है हमारा ओवर वेट होता है, 30 टू 34.9 दैट इज ओबेसिटी क्लास 1, 35 to 39.9 obesity class 2, and above 40 that is obesity class 3rd. So हमें क्या करना चाहिए, देखो इसके लिए एक आपकी वेबसाइट होती है, वहाँ पे जाके आप चेक कर सकते हो. हियर इज बॉडी मास इंडेक्स, बिलो 18.5, अंडरवेट नॉर्मल 18.5 to 24.9, दिस इज द नॉर्मल. Overweight 25.9, 29 and obesity 30 to 34 and extremely obesity more than 35. And how do we need to check? Here is the BMI calculator. calculator.net पे आप जाओ, इंटरनेट पे आपको मिल जाएगी. यहाँ पे आपसे एज पूछते हैं, वो एज, यहाँ पे जेंडर, यहाँ पे आपकी हाइट होनी चाहिए, इट मस्ट बी इन द सेंटीमीटर, एंड देन यू नीड टू मेंशन द वेट हियर, एंड कैलकुलेट आपको बता देगा आपकी BMI कितनी है. सो यू कैन चेक इट yourself ki how is your BMI, body mass index. So it is playing a vital role in the body mass index because the reason, okay, healthy BMI range जो होती है आपकी 18.5 से लेके 25. So this is need to keep in mind because sometimes they will ask you in an exam like healthy जो हमारा body mass index की range होगी 18.5 to 25 is 25, मतलब आपका एज पे होगा बिल्कुल. And healthy weight for the height 59.9 kg and 81.18 kg. Pondering index 11.1 kg meter cube. So this is all about BMI. Next is talking about NCLT request government for more member to speed up cases. If the move succeeded, they may have 80% jump in the number of tribunal members. So what is NCLT? National Company Law Tribunal. Tribunal क्या होता है? It's working similar to the court. ठीक है? Having the same power as the court is doing. So what is NCLT? National Company Law Tribunal. National Company Law Tribunal. Because NCLT has sought a major expansion of capacity to further speed up admission in bankruptcy petitions and clear the backlog of cases. Bankruptcy, which means that the scam in banking sector. As we know that जो बैंकिंग को मर्ज किया गया है, हमारे बहुत सारे बैंक को मर्ज किया गया है, क्यों मर्ज करते हैं, how, what is the reason, and what are there are many consequences that we faced if the bank has to be merged. But if we talk about why government of India is merging the bank, there is only one reason, that is known to be a NPA. And what is the NPA? Is non-performing assets. Non-performing assets. And what exactly non-performing assets? You have borrowed loan from the bank, and that bank is not able to return by 90 days. After 90 days, that amount will be considered as the non-performing assets. So बैंक की non-performing assets बहुत ज़्यादा हो गई थी, so that कि बैंक को मर्ज करना शुरू करा. आपके एग्जाम अगर क्वेश्चंस पूछेंगे ऐसे, बैंक को क्यों मर्ज किया गया? बिकॉज उसकी non-performing assets बहुत ज़्यादा हो गई थी. ठीक है. Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India that shows that 61% of close to 2,000 ongoing bankruptcy cases has been pending to more than 270 days. So a parliamentary panel has in the last time highlighted the need for the faster settlement of cases and high recovery of stakeholders. This is all about the articles, but we need to keep in mind what is about NCLT. National Company Law Tribunal. All those insolvency deals so far in the NCLT have got discount of up to 70%, even more than secured creditors. National Company Law Tribunal that was constituted under Section 18 of the Company Act 2018 with effect from 1st June 2016 based on the recommendation of Justice Iradi Committee. That committee need to be recalled, but sections that is they will not ask you in your exam, but what they will ask you कि NCLT जो था हमारा National Company Law Tribunal किसके recommendation से हमने start की थी, that is the committee, Iradi Committee on law relating to insolvency and winding up the companies. National Company Law Tribunal is a quasi-judicial body. Quasi-judicial body, which means it means that semi. Quasi, which means here is the term is semi one. Quasi-judicial body that adjudicates issues relating to Indian companies. NCLT has 11 benches, 2 at New Delhi, 1 being to the principal bench, and 1 at Ahmedabad, Allahabad, Bengaluru, Chandigarh, Chennai, Guwahati, Hyderabad, Kolkata, and Mumbai. Place is not more important, but need to keep in mind there are 11 benches, and there is 1 is also in New Delhi. Next is early childcare holds the big key to nurturing future generation. Childcare health is very, very important because as we know that the preschool curriculum should be developed to include play-landed opportunity, and for this respect, as we know that new education policy 2020 was launched as by the recommendation of Kasturi Rangan Committee. Kasturi Rangan Committee. In 1992, India ratified the United Nations Conventions on the Rights of Child, which called for its signatories for the ensure the maximum extent possible for survival and development of the child. So this is all about the, because India ranks, as we know that, as a sustainable development goals of UN is very low. That's why we are promoting such education. Decolonization, yes, let's the reforms our police. A strong PM who start the change in BJP states. This is not political news, is no more important, but that is we need to understand why is police reforms is very important. Because earlier is a colonial time, there was a uniform is something different. So only these things we need to understand. What BJP Congress doing is that is a political news that we now need to keep in mind. So history of policing in India, if we talk about, after the revolt of 1857, the British created a police force with the prime aim of upholding their imperial interest. They used the police to mainly suppress and oppress freedom fighters and revolutionary. That was, as you know, that Kolkata became, that earlier time it is known by Calcutta. So Calcutta became hotbed of revolutionaries. That's why the Bengal division was happened at that time. As we know that the same time that we know that British was going to suppress the things. And one more thing you need to keep in mind, on that time, that's why in 1911 the capital of British India was shifted from Kolkata to New Delhi by the by Lord Hardinge. That is no need to keep in mind. So over the years following independence, the police force was seen being elitist and power friendly instead of being seen as a people friendly force. Misuse of policing during the emergency, it was used with impunity to suppress human rights and imprison thousands of people, including all the political opponents of ruling dispensation. So National Police Commission, subsequently National Police Commission was set up in 1977. Date is need to be remembered. Submitted report with detailed multi-dimensional proposal for the police reforms. Not much headway has been made in bringing reforms in police forces at the individual and institutional level. So as we know that here is a thematic understanding. National Police Commission was been done in 1977 to 81, and then Roberto Committee was done to reforming the police reforms. Padmanabhan Committee 2000 से बनाई गई, and then 2002 Malimat Committee that is giving report. Police Act Drafting Committee 2005, 2006 Supreme Court direction by Prakash Singh versus Union of India. Second Administrative Reforms Commission, second ARC report, Administrative Reforms Commission 2007, and Police Act Drafting Committee 2015. So this is need to be changed the colonial era. Effort taken by the government of India, as we know that project for decriminalize minor offences and violations, to move the amending the Identification of Prison Act 1920. The Prime Minister called for making the police as a smart force. And why smart, which means strict and sensitive, modern and mobile, alert and accountable, reliable and responsive, and tech savvy and trained. So what is the issues in police forces? Colonial law. Even at present the police system in India is based on colonial law. Sometimes the British use the police as their instrument to suppress the voice of people for their personal function at their present. As we know that in the Rowlatt Act in Punjab, and that time, as we know, government wanted to suppress the Indian people voice. While the sanction of police strength was 180 police per lakh person. Custodial death, police infrastructure, weapons, vehicles, and law of torture. This is all about the article. And the political interference, what, because sometimes the political parties are going to interrupt this. That 7 directive of Supreme Court constitute a state security commission, fixed 2 years tenure of DGP, Directorate General of Police, 2-year term of Superintendent of Police, and SHO, which means Station House Officer. Station House Officer. Separate investigation and LSO function set up set up police establishment board, set up police compliance authority, state and district level, set up national security commission at central level. This is what about 7 directive of Supreme Court that is given to the police reforms. Right, get bail, poor remain in jail under trials, who are in illiterate, semi-literate, 70.6% prison awaiting for trial, 67% is law panel, and this is as we have taken from 260th Law Commission report. And as we know that is the Indian Air Force, that is first indigenous aircraft that has to be done by the Indian Air Force, that Prachand. So here is the Indian Air Force on Monday inducted the first fleet industrial built combat helicopter, which has been developed primarily by mountain warfare. The attack helicopters has been named Prachand, and it has done to by HAL, which we have already discussed in the previous class, that is in the yesterday class. Here the time is for questions of the day. So I hope you guys are ready now. So let's start with questions of the day. Here is the first question. Consider the following statements regarding International Criminal Court ICC. It is commonly referred as World Court. It does not have the capacity to arrest suspect of war crimes. It is a court of last resort for prosecutions of genocide and crimes against humanity. Which statement is correct? You need to tell. Take your time. Option B, 1 and 3. Okay. Ariba, answer is 1 and 3. See, it is mentioned it is commonly referred as a world court. So, as per the option 1 and first and third should be the correct. So D is the right answer. 2 and 3. It is not commonly referred as a world court. So second and third is does not have the capacity to arrest suspect or war crimes. It is the court of last resort for prosecution of genocide and crime against humanity. And we know that Amnesty International is working for the humanities, for the welfare and well-being of the human beings. And one more is the Oxfam report is very, very important, that has recently published for the discrimination in India, which we will discuss in the Monday class. So International Criminal Court located in The Hague. The court is the last resort for prosecution of genocide, war crimes and crime against humanity. It does not have the capacity to arrest suspect and depends on the number of states of their cooperation. International Court of Justice, also known as World Court, the main judicial organ of United Nations. Next question. Mahakali Treaty, as we know, is recently in the news, is an agreement between the Government of India and Government of Dash. Mahakali Treaty. Bangladesh, Myanmar, Nepal, Bhutan, all are our neighboring countries. A, Bangladesh. So answer would be here option C, that is Nepal. So Mahakali Treaty is an agreement between the government of Nepal and government of India regarding the development of watershed of Mahakali River. So if you were aware about that treaty was signed in 1996, the treaty recognized the Mahakali River as a boundary river between the two countries. So that is a C would be the answer. Next one, very, very, very important. Consider the following statement regarding Attorney General of India. Recently it was appointed. Attorney General of India is the Government of India first law officer and has a right to of audience in all courts of the country. He is a member of Union Cabinet. According to Constitution of India, It shall be the duty of Attorney General to perform such duty of a legal character assigned to him by the President. This is very, very important. Try to solve it. Option A, first and second. Ariba, finally, you are right answer. First and second is the correct answer. So, Attorney General of India is Government of India first law officer, has the right to audience in all courts of the country. He is not a member of Union Cabinet. There is a term Union Cabinet and Union Executive. So, he is a part of Union Executive, but is not a part of Union Cabinet. He can participate in anywhere in the session, but do not have right to vote in parliamentary session. So, according to Constitution of India, it shall be duty of Attorney General to perform such duty of a legal character assigned to him by the President. So, answer would be second option incorrect. So, second, the first and 3, B is the right answer. So, yes, Constitution of India places post of the Attorney General for the special footing. AG of the Government India first law officer has a right to audience in all courts of the country. Article 76 clause 2 of the Constitution says it shall be duty of the Attorney General to give advice to the Government of India upon such legal matters and to perform such other duties of a legal character as may from time to time be referred or assigned to him by the President. Attorney General is also supposed to discharge the function conferred on him by him or under this Constitution of any other law by the time being in force. Also, the AG for Attorney General for India is not like the AG of England and Wales, and the AG is the United States, a member of Cabinet. This is Nord Stream 2 is an export gas pipeline running from. This is supposed to be very easy. And the yesterday YouTube session of Daily News Analysis, we had already discussed Nord Stream 2. So obvious Nord Stream 2 is a gas pipeline running from Russia to Germany. So A would be the right answer. So yes, Nord Stream, the pipeline is a primary route through the which gas enters Germany and then travel west to south and west onshore links to other European countries. Nord Stream 2 pipeline that would have doubled the flow of Russian gas to Germany was suspended in February 2022 due to Russia-Ukraine invasion. And here is the 5G network, which we have. Here is the last questions now we are going to discuss. And as we know, our PM was launched by 5G network, so you need to recall, you need to keep in mind the what exactly 5G. So statement 5G mobile network, which is the following statement correct. 5G technology is meant to deliver highly multi Gbps. What exactly Gbps means? Gigabyte per second. Gigabyte per second, as we know that पहले आपकी होती है kbps, किलोबाइट पर सेकेंड. उसके बाद आपकी क्या होती है किलोबाइट पर सेकेंड 1024 kb, which means is equal to 1 MB. 1024 kb equal to 1 MB. So किलोबाइट पर सेकेंड से आपका होता है MBPS. मेगाबाइट पर सेकेंड से आपका क्या होता है गीगाबाइट पर सेकेंड. So first statement is 5G technology is meant to deliver high multi-Gbps peak data speed, ultra high latency, more reliability and massive network capacity. 5G wireless device will connect to the internet and telephone network by radio waves through a local antenna. At present, 5G technology is available only in US, China and some European country. I'm waiting for your answer, guys. Please let me know in the comment section what could be the right answer. So the statement third is somehow is not correct because it has mentioned at present 5G technology available only in US, China. It is already in our country. Third statement is incorrect. So yes, C would be the right answer. Statement 1, 5G wireless technology is meant to deliver high multi-Gbps data speed, ultra low latency, more reliability, massive network capacity, increased availability, and more uniform users experience to more users. So statement first is correct. Like it predecessors, 5G networks are cellular network in which our service area is divided into small geographical areas called cells. All 5G wireless devices in cell are connected to the internet and telephone network by radio waves through a local antenna in the cell. Statement third, 5G has been deployed in 35 countries and counting. So now you got like why only second statement is correct. This one, 5G wireless will connect to the internet and telephone network by radio waves. So it's not high latency, it's a low latencies. The 5G have everything is correct, but here it should be the low latency. So answer would be here C. Only two second statement is correct one. So I hope student you enjoyed YouTube session a lot. Tomorrow we will discuss about entire September month's news MCQs, around 80 to 100 MCQs that we will discuss, that is based on the Hindu and Indian Express. So stay tuned. We'll meet tomorrow at the same time 11:30, and if you have any issues regarding the class, anything you would like to ask, please let us know in the comment section. Our Pratham team will help you out. Thank you so much for watching this. Bye bye, take care, and good night again. Riba, thank you sir. Yes, you're most welcome. So we'll meet you tomorrow at the same time. Bye bye, take care once again. Thank you.